Hi there, it's Clark from BlockBox, and I'm going to show my team how to do a complicated merge for those who don't know how to do it, because there's a lot of us working on this code base, and we run into problems with merging pull requests and having lots of branches. So this is the page that I'm going to merge. As you can see, it's a landing page for our product, BlockBox. It has a lot of marketing materials, and we have a version of this page that um, different members of the team have been editing copy on, and then one member of the team had been um, modifying the structure of the page. So some of that copy conflicted with some of the page structure that had changed, and led to a non-trivial merge. What do I mean by that? If I go to my code here, or into my terminal, you can see that I'm in the develop branch, and I want to pull the master branch. So this is going to pull some copy updates into this develop branch where some layout structure changes have already been merged. So as you can see here, we've conflicted on this one file, landingpage.pug. And if I take a look at the file, look for my merge markers, there's a very large section of the file that has been conflicted. It's like most of the file, and that's going to be really difficult to merge manually. So what I'm going to do is use a merge tool. And for this, I'm going to use kdiff3. So the first thing you'll have to do is, if you're on Linux, is to install kdiff3, which you can do using apt-get install kdiff3. Once you do that, you'll have to configure Git to use kdiff3 as its merge tool. You can see this is done via git config --global --add merge.tool kdiff3. And lastly, I'm going to type git merge tool. And Git is smart enough to know that I want to take all of my conflicted files and load them using a special tool. And let's have a look at what that results in. So you can see here, kdiff is already going to do a much better job. Let me just switch to a different screen. Much better job of merging than Git alone. It's much smarter, and it deals with the HTML developer having changed the indentation here, which has really been the source of the really difficult merge, the source of the difficulty. So there are 5 unsolved conflicts, however, that I'm going to go through manually. You can see that there's actually 4 different windows here, and that is what really makes this tool so much easier to use than just merging directly in an editor, because I can see the original file that was common between both of these branches. I can see my local branch, which was develop and contains this indentation change throughout the file. And I can see the remote branch, which is master. So and then lastly at the bottom here, this is my output. This is what I'm going to create as a result of this merge. So you can see that this top part of the file is just fine. It's been automatically merged, and we don't have to worry about it. But when we get down to this point here, it says no source lines. That's not a big deal. It just means that one of the files introduced an extra line or removed a line, and you don't actually have to do anything. It's just flagging it for you. Suppose that I want to not include the line because it kind of looks maybe a bit cleaner, then I'll just stick with what it's chosen here, which is no source line. The things that I really need to pay attention to is where it says merge conflict. So this is a case where kdiff has not been able to figure out what to do. And to deal with it, I'm going to right-click on merge conflict, and you can see it highlights here, in here, in here, in all versions of the file, what the line looks like. And you can see that the designer edited this file by probably using a plugin in his editor. It indented it further. And then this person, this is actually me, changed some copy here to make the wording different on this page. So we want this wording, but we want this indentation level. So that's fairly straightforward. I think it's going to be simplest to change the indentation. So I have to choose one version. I'm going to choose C, which has the copy change. And now you can see the indentation's wrong. So I'm going to manually hit the space bar a few times to move the indentation out. So the indentation matches this file here, and the copy matches this file here. In fact, this copy isn't even that good. I think I should mention the name of our service here. Okay, so moving on to the next merge conflict. Again, right-click. I can see that this one's a bit interesting because I can see that the CTA button selector there is actually used in all three. Let's just see what happens if I pick the design change, the one that reflects the design change. Sometimes you'll see things that look a little confusing here. But you can see, okay, what's actually happened here is the merge tool has done something that a human probably intuitively wouldn't do. It's saying that this CTA buttons line here is actually new, and this one that was actually already in the file is being replaced by just this one line, which isn't a very good explanation, so it's a bit confusing. But when you're in doubt, just have a look at the output in the final file, and I can see that this selector lines up with the heading above it, which is what I want, because that's what it is in the designer's file. So I know that this is correct, because you can see what he's done here versus the original. His intent was to remove the shadow class just because it's commented out and not used, and he's removed an extra class that we don't need from this selector. So we really just want his version, and as you can see in the output here, we've got it. So the merge tool doesn't magically solve everything for you, but it sure makes it a lot simpler. Compared to merging 100 lines, I just have to merge like 1 or 2 lines at a time. So our next merge conflict here, I think everyone's chosen some different copy here. I'm going to go with the copy on the right, because it's going to take us to the right page. And again, I have to fix the indentation because that needs to be done manually if there's a merge conflict. In every other case, the indentation has been intelligently fixed by kdiff, though, which is pretty huge. It saves me a lot of time. So here we have vastly different copy in this landing page in version C here. So I'm going to choose version C again. And for some reason it's chosen, kdiff you can see has chosen to exclude this new copy here. So I'm just going to manually add it in. It's important to pay attention and to make sure that the manual output of the code still makes sense. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. I'm going to save the output, and this file is going to be correctly merged. Thanks for watching.